Europe, like the Rothschilds, and I can't remember all the names, but
Rockefellers and
yeah, the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds, and the British Crown,
Bilderbergs, etc.
The Bilderbergs. Yes, those are the people that actually run the show. There's really a puppet master, and he lives over in Europe, and he's the one that gives the orders. And there is some contact with an alien race off Earth who are probably giving him orders. So, this thing just goes on. It's just deeper and deeper and deeper. But anyway, that treaty gave us 60 years of secrecy and collusion with the aliens. It gave us Pine Gap in Australia, Area 51 in Nevada, and a lot of underground and under the ocean secret bases. So that's part of the secret government. Do you want me to talk a little bit more about MJ-12 or?
Yes, go ahead, because these are things that people wonder about. I wonder about. And I keep hearing information from guests on the internet that there are bases that we have coinciding with other ET civilizations on Mars, the Moon, the various planets, and so on. So, yeah.
Well, this was a group of very highly placed, top secret individuals that had to do with the security of our government. I'm looking right now. I'm trying to find the list that I had of their names, and of course I can't find it right now. But they were generals and admirals, and one was the director of the astronomy department at Harvard, and this was the caliber of them. And it was, President Truman who ordered this committee. And the basis of it was to find out, because this was right after the crash of Roswell, where we got an alien craft and got alien bodies. So he wanted to find out just what was the agenda here. What did the aliens want? And they did have one that lived for quite a long time. In fact, he was eventually sent home to his planet. So they got a lot of information, but they didn't trust them at all. So this is what MJ-12 was all about. But, go ahead.
Well, since I want to hear what you're going to say next, but since then, it kind of morphed into the highest levels of the corporate and military structure, didn't it? And it got completely taken out of the hands of if it ever was in the hands of the president. It's so far removed from the clearance of our military that they can't get access to that information. Is that
yes, that's correct. I've even heard that there are 27 levels of top secret above the president of the United States. So they didn't know it. They didn't know a lot, and it was Kennedy who requested the UFO files. And it was something like 2 weeks later he was assassinated. It has been rumored for many, many years that he knew about the aliens and he knew about the craft and that he was going to tell the American people. He was going to make an announcement. But the secret government wasn't going to have that. So they arranged his assassination.
Well, that's pretty common, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, if you get in the way, they'll just do away with you. And the other thing I wanted to mention was Ben Rich was the CEO of Lockheed and Lockheed Skunk Works. And this was one of the outfits that had a lot of the black ops projects. Now, these projects were funded by drug money, funded from raping so many of the accounts in our government. That's why we're in such trouble now. I mean, they just took all the money they needed. They had very deep pockets. They got the top scientists from around the world. They went underground, and they started making a lot of stuff. And before Ben Rich died, I guess it was a deathbed thing, he said, we already have the means to travel among the stars. The U.S. aerospace community, military-industrial complex has done anything you can imagine. We already know how to do it. Wow. He said we can take E.T. home, and let's see, he said there are two types of UFOs. The ones we build, meaning the humans, the Americans, and the ones that they build, meaning the aliens. And let me just mention here that our spacecraft that looks very much like, you know, UFOs are basically triangular in shape. So if you come across a triangular ship, it may not be alien. It may be from our own government. And we have other cultures and societies living in the inner Earth. They have UFOs. Russia has UFOs. It was right after the Second World War when Germany was already building UFOs.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So a lot of what we see is actually coming from the Earth, but there very absolutely definitely is a very large alien contingent or ET contingent that are here now, and a lot of them have been here for a long, long time. We have over 1,000 cultures, ET cultures, that are circling the Earth right now in their spacecraft. And they're here because, I think they're here because they want to see the fireworks. I mean, this is a really big show that Earth is putting on at this point in time. There are so many things that are happening, so many cycles that are all coming to an end at the same time now. And at the same time, man is going through a spiritual transformation, and our bodies are literally being lifted. Our consciousness is being lifted. The carbon-based cells that we have in our body are being changed to crystalline base so that our bodies can vibrate at a higher rate into the fourth dimension and then the fifth dimension. And we're learning that, you know, this transformation is an expanded spiritual being, and the more our consciousness expands, the more spiritual we become. And we're learning that we're not alone in the universe, and this is a very big evolutionary jump for us. We're going to be learning how to coexist with our galactic neighbors, and it's not just us. I mean, the whole galaxy is moving into a different section of the universe. So we're going through that, and then at the same time, Planet X has decided to come back, and that's every 3,654 years. And we happen to be living right now in that time. And what does that mean for us? Well, every time it comes by, planet Earth really gets a real big shaking up. And it came by with Moses. It came by with, Noah and the ark. And when Moses led the Jews out of Egypt, at that time, parting of the Red Sea and the locusts and all that, and the water turning red, that brackish water is the iron oxide from the tail of Planet X, and we will literally be peppered with that the closer it gets. And each time it comes by, it has a different degree of severity depending upon where we are in our orbit as it comes close to us. But this time the Zetas are telling us that it's going to be a particularly difficult one, that it's going to be quite close. 14 million miles, it will pass us. And 14 million miles may sound like a lot, but when you're talking about these huge planets, it's not
a trail of debris following and a tail, right?
Yes, yes. That
like a whip, yeah.
That tail has moons, gravel, boulders, asteroids, dust, has all kinds of things in it, and it's red from the iron oxide, and so everything will be covered with this red dust, and it's flipping this tail back and forth, and it will actually come 5 million miles closer to the Earth than the planet comes. It swings very wide of the planet. So this planet is called Planet X. It's called Nibiru. It's called the Destroyer, the Red Star, Wormwood from the Bible, the Dragon. And this was the dragon that I was shown, flipping its tail in the sky. When I had my experience in Laramie, Wyoming with the ETs, they showed me 5 symbols, and that was the first symbol they showed me. So this planet is 4 times the diameter of the Earth, and it's about 23 times the mass of the Earth. So this is a big dude coming into the neighborhood. And with this electromagnetic pull and push that we're going through, it's going to be Earth that's going to get the short end of the stick.
Now, what about the rumors and Sitchin's work that explains that the Anunnaki live within that planet and that they have actually colonized Earth, and that they're kind of a negative presence that's behind all of these secret developments?
Well, a lot of what he wrote was very true. The Anunnaki do inhabit this planet. There are about 4 different species on the planet. But the Anunnaki have been coming for a very long time, and they came to Earth, something like 300,000, 400,000 years ago. And they were mining for gold. And they decided it was too difficult. The work was too difficult. They were tinkering around with genetics at that point, probably somewhat like we're tinkering around with it now. Sitchin felt through his research that they had created Homo sapiens at that time to be a slave race. But Nancy Leader of Zeta Talk is saying, no, this is not correct. They didn't develop Homo sapiens. So we're not sure what happened. We're not sure quite where we came from, but Sitchin was sure that was what had happened. But they're not going to be permitted to come to the Earth this time. They're being quarantined because of our spiritual ascension that we're going through at the present time. So that's one thing we don't have to worry about.
Well,
but go ahead. I was just going to say, as it gets closer, you're seeing earthquakes, you're seeing volcanic eruptions. Every day this is happening, and it's a lot of our press is not reporting a great percentage of what's happening around the world. We have Indonesia is sinking, Malaysia is sinking, Sumatra, Java, New Guinea, Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam, Pakistan, and India. They're all in the process of sinking. And the South America... Yeah. But you hearing anything about that?
No.
And this has been going on for several months already.
Wow.
So unless you're on the internet and unless you have somebody that's reporting to you from these countries what's happening, we won't hear about it here. And one guy even said that when the New Madrid fault goes here in America, we probably won't even know about it unless we're in that territory.
Right.
So